Refrigerant charging procedures. Hello folks, welcome to this lesson on refrigerant charging procedures. Refrigerant charging is a critical process in the maintenance and repair of HVAC systems. It ensures that the system operates efficiently, providing optimal cooling or heating as needed. The process involves adding the correct amount of refrigerant into the system. Here's a step-by-step guide. 1. Preparation. Gather tools. Ensure you have the necessary tools, including a gauge manifold set, refrigerant scale, leak detector, and personal protective equipment. Check specifications. Refer to the manufacturer's specifications for the correct type and amount of refrigerant required. Monitor ambient conditions. Note the ambient temperature, as it can affect refrigerant pressure readings. 2. System assessment. Visual inspection. Perform a visual inspection of the HVAC system for any visible signs of leaks or damage. Pressure check. Connect the manifold gauge set to the service ports and check the system pressure to verify current refrigerant levels. 3. Adding refrigerant. Weigh refrigerant. Place the refrigerant cylinder on a scale to monitor the exact amount being added. Connect equipment. Connect the low-pressure hose from the manifold gauge set to the refrigerant cylinder. Open valve slowly. Open the valve on the manifold gauge slowly to allow refrigerant to flow into the system. Charge to specs. Add refrigerant until the target charge level specified by the manufacturer is achieved. Refrigerant recovery procedures. Refrigerant recovery is the process of removing refrigerant from a system and storing it for recycling or disposal. This is crucial for environmental protection and compliance with regulations like the PES Section 608.1. Safety First SPP. Always use appropriate personal protective equipment to protect against refrigerant exposure. Avoid open flames. Ensure there are no open flames in the vicinity during recovery operations. 2. Equipment setup. Set up recovery machine. Attach the recovery machine to the service ports using the manifold gauge set. Prepare cylinder. Use a DOT-approved recovery cylinder to store the recovered refrigerant. 3. Recovery process. Open service valves. Open the valves on the C unit for both high and low sides. Start recovery. Turn on the recovery machine to begin withdrawing refrigerant from the system. Monitor gauge. Monitor pressure gauges throughout the process to ensure complete recovery.
System evacuation and leak testing. Evacuating the HVAC system and conducting leak tests are essential procedures for ensuring that the system is free of moisture and leaks, which could affect performance and efficiency. 1. System evacuation. Vacuum setup. Connect a vacuum pump to the system through the manifold gauge pump down. Operate the vacuum pump to reduce the system pressure below atmospheric pressure, typically to 500 microns or lower. Monitor levels. Use a micron gauge to accurately measure vacuum levels. Remove moisture. Continue the evacuation process to remove all moisture and non-condensable gases from the system. 2. Leak testing. Pressurized system. Introduce dry nitrogen or another inert gas to pressurize the system slightly above normal operating pressures. Search for leaks. Use an electronic leak detector to scan joints, connections, and any areas prone to leaks. Soap solution test. Apply a soap solution to suspect areas. Bubbles indicate a leak. Repair and retest. If leaks are found, repairs must be made, and the system should be retested to confirm integrity. Executive summary. Here's a summary of refrigerant charging procedures. Pre-charging procedures. 1. Safety precautions. Wear protective gear, ensure good ventilation, and follow safety guidelines. 2. System inspection. Check for leaks, damage, or contamination. 3. Recovery of existing refrigerant. Recover the existing refrigerant if applicable.
Charging procedures. 1. Determine the correct charge. Calculate the required refrigerant charge based on the system's capacity and specifications. 2. Choose the correct charging method. Select the appropriate charging method, such as vapor charging, liquid charging, or a combination of both. 3. Connect the charging equipment. Connect the refrigerant charging equipment to the system, ensuring proper connections and seals. 4. Charge the system. Charge the system with the calculated amount of refrigerant, monitoring the system's pressure, temperature, and performance. Post-charging procedures. 1. Leak testing. Perform a leak test to ensure the system is tight and free of leaks. 2. System performance check. Verify the system's performance, checking for proper cooling, heating, or refrigeration. 3. Record keeping. Document the charging procedure, including the amount of refrigerant charged, system performance, and any issues encountered. Safety considerations. 1. Handle refrigerants with care. Refrigerants can be hazardous if not handled properly. 2. Follow safety guidelines. Adhere to safety guidelines and regulations when handling refrigerants. 3. Use proper protective equipment. Wear protective gear, including gloves, safety glasses, and a face mask when handling refrigerants. Here's a summary of system evacuation and leak testing. System evacuation. 1. Purpose: remove air, moisture, and contaminants from the system to prevent damage and ensure proper operation. 2. Methods: use a vacuum pump to evacuate the system, typically to a pressure of 500 microns or lower. 3. Steps: 1. Connect the vacuum pump to the system. 2. Evacuate the system, monitoring the pressure gauge. 3. Hold the vacuum for a specified time to ensure removal of moisture and contaminants. 4. Importance: prevents corrosion, contamination, and damage to system components. Leak testing. 1. Purpose: detect leaks in the system to prevent refrigerant loss, contamination, and safety hazards. 2. Methods: 1. Bubble test. Apply a soap solution to connections and joints, observing for bubbles. 2. Electronic leak detectors. Use a device to detect refrigerant leaks. 3. Pressure test. Pressurize the system and monitor for pressure drops. 3. Steps: 1. Prepare the system for leak testing. 2. Perform the chosen leak test method. 3. Identify and repair any leaks detected. 4. Importance: ensures system integrity, prevents refrigerant loss, and maintains safety. Best practices. 1. Follow manufacturer guidelines. Adhere to manufacturer recommendations for evacuation and leak testing procedures. 2. Use proper equipment. Utilize suitable equipment, such as vacuum pumps and leak detectors. 3. Perform regular maintenance. Regularly inspect and maintain the system to prevent leaks and ensure proper operation. Here's a summary of refrigerant recovery procedures.
Pre-recovery procedures. 1. Safety precautions: wear protective gear, ensure good ventilation, and follow safety guidelines. 2. System inspection: check for leaks, damage, or contamination. 3. Identify refrigerant type. Determine the type of refrigerant used in the system. Recovery procedures. 1. Connect recovery equipment. Attach the recovery unit to the system, ensuring proper connections and seals. 2. Recover liquid refrigerant. Recover the liquid refrigerant from the system, taking care not to introduce air or moisture. 3. Recover vapor refrigerant. Recover the vapor refrigerant from the system using a recovery unit designed for vapor recovery. 4. Monitor recovery process. Monitor the recovery process, ensuring that the refrigerant is being recovered safely and efficiently. Post-recovery procedures. 1. Inspect recovery equipment. Inspect the recovery equipment for damage or contamination. 2. Properly store recovered refrigerant. Store the recovered refrigerant in an approved container, labeling it with the refrigerant type and date. 3. Document recovery process. Record the recovery process, including the amount of refrigerant recovered, system details, and any issues encountered. Safety considerations. 1. Handle refrigerants with care. Refrigerants can be hazardous if not handled properly. 2. Follow safety guidelines. Adhere to safety guidelines and regulations when handling refrigerants. 3. Use proper protective equipment. Wear protective gear, including gloves, safety glasses, and a face mask when handling refrigerants. In conclusion, understanding and properly executing the processes of refrigerant charging, recovery, and system evacuation, along with thorough leak testing, are vital skills for anyone working with VIX systems. Adhering to these procedures not only enhances system efficiency and longevity, but also aligns with environmental environmental standards and safety protocols. Remember that these tasks should only be performed by certified professionals to ensure compliance with legal requirements and safety guidelines. We hope this lesson has provided you with valuable insights and practical guidance on HVAC system maintenance and operation. Feel free to ask questions or request further clarification on any of the procedures discussed. Thank you for taking this lesson. We hope to see you in the next lecture. Happy learning, folks!